Thanks for sticking around wherever you are, bathroom, bedroom, car, or bar, wherever you're sitting, wherever you're hanging. Thanks for listening to my shenanigans. My name is Matt Pless. I appreciate you sticking around so late. This song's called Nero. I wrote it once upon a train wreck. In the dawn of desperation, when the peasants are beheading every emperor with a golden crown, first they'll stand with one another, then they'll turn against each other under thunder on a battleground. With their torches, tar, and feathers, off to round up all the witches on a rail and run them out of town. In a kingdom that's collapsing, I'm relaxing on the ashes, playing fiddle, watching Rome burn down. You can dance around the fire with the hand that holds the power, or go cower with the gagged and bound. While the vultures count the profits and the hawks are launching rockets in a garden growing mushroom clouds. You can storm the ivory towers, but the knight in shining armor's days are numbered on the body count. So I'm laughing up at heaven in the arms of Armageddon, playing fiddle, watching Rome burn down. You can find me playing fiddle, watching Rome burn down, playing fiddle, watching Rome burn down. You can find me playing fiddle, watching Rome burn down, playing fiddle, watching Rome burn down. Where the tricksters and the grifters and the rich carnival barkers sell their sulfur to a spellbound crowd, buying tickets to the promise of a better world to come, and left with nothing when their hope runs out. There's a lifeboat overflowing on a rising violent ocean in the darkness where the sailors drown. But I'm smiling on an island by the tidal wave horizon, playing fiddle, watching Rome burn down. If you're screaming in defiance, are you David or Goliath when the riot rages all around? Call it vengeance, call it justice, call it progress, call it selfish. Either way, I'm gonna have my doubts. Maybe I'm just causing problems, thinking I know how to solve them, so for once I'm gonna shut my mouth. Waiting silent in the shadows like a devil at the crossroads, playing fiddle, watching Rome burn down. You can find me playing fiddle, watching Rome burn down, playing fiddle, watching Rome burn down. You can find me playing fiddle, watching Rome burn down, playing fiddle, watching Rome burn down. While the charlatans are shouting propaganda on the mountain, truth is spoken to an empty house. If you ask for my opinion, are you trying to make a difference or find something to complain about? When indulgence and consumption leave a landscape of destruction where it's far too late to turn back now, I'll be moving on my own way down the existential highway, playing fiddle, watching Rome burn down. You can find me playing fiddle, watching Rome burn down, playing fiddle, watching Rome burn down. You can find me playing fiddle, watching Rome burn down, playing fiddle, watching Rome burn down. Thanks, everybody. I can't hear your applause, but I can feel it in spirit because we're all connected. This song's called My Crooked Ways. I wrote it a long time ago. It's about cleaning up your act. It's on my Tumbleweed record. It goes like this. Yeah, someday I'll change my crooked ways, and all the poisons in my veins will turn to endless streams of lemonade, and I'll find that crime, it doesn't pay, and use the money that I stole to buy new homes for needy families. I swear one day I'm gonna change my crooked ways, begging on my knees that I'll find the path that sets me straight and wakes me up from this bed of my decay. Yes, it's safe to say I've gone astray, but someday I will change my crooked ways. grave I dug for me, and fill it up 6 feet with dirt and seeds, then watch it bloom a garden green. Then I'll turn every lie I told you into a light to guide you through, and on the other side you won't mind when you hear the truth. I swear one day I'm gonna change my crooked ways, begging on my knees that I'll break these chains that seal my fate and wake me up from this bed of my decay. Yes, it's safe to say I've gone astray, but someday I will change my crooked ways. Change my crooked ways. Pack my troubled habits up and put them on the shelf, shouting out a cry for help to save me from myself. I've spent a lifetime burning down a candle at both ends. I gotta take a gamble on this chance to start again, and so I swear one day I'm gonna change my crooked ways, begging on my knees that tomorrow doesn't mean too late to wake me up from this bed of my decay. Yes, it's safe to say I've gone astray, but someday I'm gonna change my crooked ways. Change my crooked ways. Change my crooked ways. That's an old tune. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. This is a new tune. I wrote this about one of those relationships that's full of flowers, butter, and honey cups, and a whole big dose of coal fire and octagon lava. But this song is called That's What I Get. It's on my upcoming album called Cheap Shots on the Rocks that's coming out in spring. And this is off that. It's track 2. Rise and shine your dark cloud in the sun. Go put your two-faced makeup on and hide the cracks that lie beneath. My head rings with alarm bells going off, but nothing's gonna wake me up, stuck in the black hole of my dreams. First you caught my eye, then you robbed me blind. That's what I get for falling in love with someone like you. Left a perfect scar when you stole my heart. That's what I get for falling in love with someone like you. I'm trapped inside a rabbit cage of flames, a cat and mouse behavior maze, half crazed with nowhere left to run. You're beautiful like vibrant phoenix fire, a train wreck driven by desire, the trigger finger on the gun. I hitched my ride where the bullets fly. That's what I get for falling in love with someone like you. Let you clip my wings, now this bird won't sing. That's what I get for falling in love with someone like you. Pick an exit sign to the far and wide, stick a fork in the dead-end road. It's a sad goodbye in the zen disguise of a positive path toward growth. You're a waste of time like a bad punchline. Gotta laugh cause it ain't no joke. That's what I get for falling in love with someone like you. What's left of me. That's what I get for falling in love with someone like you. But we'll crash and burn, and I still won't learn. That's what I get for falling in love with someone like you. I'm a rainy day going down the drain with a hurricane in my mind. If you ask, I'll say everything's okay, but I'm honestly not alright. You're a sweet mistake and a gorgeous way of ruining my whole life, but still I give what's never enough for someone like. Take the baggage that comes with someone like. Get lost falling in love love with someone like you. That's what I get for falling in love with someone like you. So I was walking down Fifth Avenue and I saw this cat in a business suit, and he was looking all rectangle and gray with not much to say, and I asked him, "Hey man, how's your day?" And he said, "It's doing all right. I wish I wasn't going insane. By the way, do you know what time it is?" And I said, "I don't know what, a time to be alive?" And he said, "Exactly." It's the shape of things to come. It's that moment in the sun. It's the wild, reckless turning of the tide. Sure as every shout begins with a whisper in the wind, can't deny it's quite a time to be alive. It's the changing of the guard. It's the calm before the storm. At the crossroads when you're forced to draw the line. Give some love and take a stand, 'cause the future's in your hands. Starting once upon a time to be alive. It's the sound of the alarm, it's the push against the grain, it's the single rebel candle that ignites a million flames. It's an ocean overflowing flood, and when the levee breaks, it's when you say, the sky's the limit, when the ground is giving way. It's the riots in the streets, it's a war you wage for peace, it's the opposition's brazen battle cry. Through the widening divide, where alliances collide, fighting blindly for a time to be alive. It's the blazing path you pave with each turning of a page. It's the moral of a story gone awry. It's the poetry of truth, and it's a song that sings the blues, playing softly for a time to be alive. It's the tolling of the bell, it's an echo loud and clear. It's the shackles round your ankles, it's the flowers in your hair. It's a floor plan for destruction, it's a roadmap toward repair. It's what appears along a highway leading anywhere but here. It's the progress through the cracks in a ceiling made of glass. It's a finger on the button, say goodbye. It's the anger in the crowd when they burn the cities down in the ashes of a time to be alive. It's the point of no return, it's the lessons that you learn. It's the flags or gods or facts you stand behind. Bridge a gap or build a wall, some will rise and some will fall. Either way, oh what a time to be alive. With our weary heads held high as we face an uphill climb, better keep on keeping on, 'cause a change is gonna come. Sing it loud, oh what a time to be alive. This song's an old tune. It's off my 7-inch split with Francine Moon. This is called She Plays with Dirty Needles, and She's in My Arms Again, and the algorithm requested it, so this goes out to you, algorithm. This one goes out to every Romeo who's wasting his time waiting for the junkie angels in the Juliet line, where Pandora's pinprick pupils paint the perfect Monet, hanging locked away and lonesome next to Dorian Gray. And as the poison drains my mind, it leaves me wondering why I can't find a remedy that suits me well as you. It's true, my baby's born to lose me, 'cause she's bringing out the worst in me, but does the best she can. She's casting off the lifeboats while I'm sinking as she swims, and I found myself a lover who'd be better as a friend, 'cause she plays with dirty needles and she's in my arms again. She's from the wrong side of the track marks, and I'm setting my sights on a candy-coated ticket to the train wreck tonight. So I jump the wall at rehab, bound 3 sheets to the wind, while her fire feeds the fever flaming under my skin. And as the twinkle fades my eyes, it shapes a face I hardly recognize. inside. She hides behind the boiling silver spoons, confused, like one who's been abused, because she's dancing round the disco lights, takes pride in all my shame. The conscience points the fingers when there's no one left to blame. Then I'll stop and ask the silence, is the pleasure worth the pain? Cause she plays with dirty needles and she does it all in vain. Little white line lies, laugh out loud while the river rolls round. Cure for boredom, habit forming up all night while the river rolls round. And when the tourniquet unwinds and all the toxic phantoms run and hide from 12 stepfathers juggling the truth, no use, I had to cut her loose. She said a woman is the open wound that vexes every man. Then softly kissed her scorpion and placed it in my hand. Then she locked me in her magic lamp, my wish is her demand. Cause she plays with dirty needles and she fits the glass syringe. Yeah, she plays with dirty needles and she's in my arms. If you can do that the first time, I'll give you $10. Damn! Alright. I want to take this time to say, if you go to my Bandcamp site, you can get vinyls, you can get t-shirts, you can get downloads, patches, all those things. This next song is a new song about an old story. This is called Ivy Juniper. Born on a runaway boxcar train, crowned with a halo of daisy chains, second-hand holes in her denim jeans, queen with a lucky ace up her sleeve. Have you heard about that girl with the bandit boots and the cowboy smile? Call her Ivy Juniper, she's a highway child, pretty misty eyes, rugged and rough with a diamond shine, sweet and sassy like moonlight wine. They call her Ivy Juniper, the rambling love of mine. Off like the derelict when she goes, rocks like a ramshackle rodeo, lips like the kiss from a honeycomb, bag full of tricks and a heart of gold. Never met a girl like her, she's a coin flip mixed with a cyclone spin. Little Ivy Juniper, with her pockets filled with the perfect crime, one of a kind on a cloud 9 high, laughter painting the countryside. She's little Ivy Juniper, the rambling love of mine. Forget about that girl with her soul exploding like sundown fire. Wild Ivy Juniper, she's a pistol living a slingshot life, free as a bird in the western sky, passing by like an exit sign. She's Wild Ivy Juniper, the rambling love of mine, the rambling love of mine. This is called My Idea of Heaven. It's very, very deep. So if you think you figured out the message, keep it to yourself. Don't tell anybody. But when someone plays this song or sings it or covers it, just look at them like you know something they don't know. And chances are they'll be looking back at you thinking the same thing. If I were a god, I'd make a lot of milkshakes, pour them down on people, watch them all go crazy. If I were a god, I'd fry a lot of bacon, put it in the milkshakes, my idea of heaven. Bacon in a milkshake, my idea of heaven. If I were a genius, I could make you love me, but I'm not a genius, cause nobody loves me. If I were a genius, I could write equations, I could pass the math test, but I'd never solve them. I could spell the math test, but I'd never solve them. If I crack a bottle, I could swallow vodka, walking into brick walls, acting like my father. If I crack a bottle, I could swim in whiskey. I'd forget my lover, cause she doesn't miss me. I'd forget my lover, cause she doesn't miss me. If I were a record, I'd be getting dizzy, spinning round in circles, sticking needles in me. If I were a record, I'd be wearing vinyl, dressing like a rock star, going out of style. Dressing like a rock star, going out of style. If I were a cell phone, I'd call in a bomb threat. Almost got arrested, but I shot the sheriff. If I were a cell phone, we could learn our lesson. I would leave a voicemail if you text a message. I would call a voicemail if you leave a message. That's enough of games. No more fun and games. It's 2020, there's no fun and games. If I were a god, I'd fry a lot of bacon, put it in the milkshakes, my idea of heaven. And if I were a god, I'd find it quite perplexing, balancing the bacon, trying to please the vegans, bringing home the bacon. But I love the vegans. This is a song about a breakup I went through a long time ago, and a girl who drew in a notebook with charcoal, and Sylvia Plath. It's called Mad Childs Lament. Charcoal lines tracing time, background of a sketchbook life, hides inside the prison of her mind. Rainbow hair and vibrant lips, the devil twists her fingertips, scorns the angel kiss she left behind. She catches all the swirling colors from the afterglow, and paints herself into a corner, then she calls it home. She says when we're together that we're better off alone, and then she draws the blinds and calls me to her bed. In a sea of satin thread, where the truth is left unsaid, yes, I think I made you up inside my head. Razor tongue, a warm embrace, shades of guilt across her face, vanishes without a trace again. She lies awake and talks to ghosts who whisper secrets through the smoke, 'cause all she ever wanted was a friend. She dances with the shadows of the lovers from her past. She drags her pawns along the lonely chessboard made of glass. She runs away from everything, 'cause nothing good can last. And then she shuts her eyes and all the world drops dead. And the tears were finally shed on a canvas washed in red. Yes, I think I made you up inside my head. Winter weaves its cloak of frozen gray. Spring has never seemed so far away. You know how to hurt me so, more than anyone I know. Bruised and broken, hoping you will stay. You opened up a window when you blindly closed the door. Now everything is hollow where the silent lions roar. There's nothing in here moving, I can't feel you anymore. I should have tried to catch a comet's tail instead, 'cause I may have been misled by the image I was fed. Yes, I think I made you up inside my head. Should have tried to catch a comet's tail instead. Should have tried to catch a comet's tail instead. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you listening. Gotta find my guitar. Where did it go? They're always getting away from me, man. There it is. Okay. Thanks to the roadie over there. Okay, this next song is called White Picket Fences. Whoa, I forgot to start it. There once was a boy who sat in a box for 20-some years till they shipped him off to a brand new box. But that's okay, 'cause the love of his life who became his bride would stand by his side till he put her aside. Now she cries over puddles of spilled pride, but that's okay. And they raised a child to think for himself till he questioned God, then he needed help, so they got that prescription filled, and now that's okay. And every day they wake and they open their eyes and they put on their masks and they go outside and they hide what's inside from a world they despise, but that's okay. It's alright, it's okay. All in all, it's disarray. It's the same thing every day, and that's okay. It's alright, it's okay. All in all, what can you say? Is it ever gonna change? It's okay. So they live behind a white picket fence where their rules were sent from the government through a pixel box that makes no sense, but that's okay. Daddy slaves away so the bills get paid. Mommy finds new ways to sedate the pain while little what's-his-name plays video games, and that's okay. When you're glued in front of a flat TV where you'll never question authority, you'll just be all that you can be, but that's okay. Until you fall in line thinking you don't care while you run in circles and get nowhere, then you'll wonder how you ended up there, and that's okay. It's alright, it's okay. They look just like you and me, flailing in their misery, but that's okay. It's alright, it's okay. When it's all work and no play, it makes Jack a real doll boy, but that's okay. Now they're all caught up in the same routine while they're chasing down some elusive dream. In the scheme of things, it seems obscene, but that's okay. 'Cause the kid's in school, but he cannot think while his mom's handcuffed to the kitchen sink, and his dad's in love when he has a drink, but that's okay. And he says, my son, if you only knew what that cereal box has in store for you, you'd be drinking coffee too, but that's okay. 'Cause they might be black, or they might be white, and they might be left, or they might be right, but they all lose sight in the end, and that's okay. It's alright, it's okay, in the land of liberty, where there's nothing really free, but that's okay. It's alright, it's okay, that's the way it's gotta be, when we all end up the same, but that's okay. 'Cause we got ourselves to blame, but that's okay. Gonna find another way if that's okay. Thanks, everybody. I hope you have a nice night tonight at your house, and thanks for listening. And I have 2 more songs, and then I think we're calling it a night. Thanks, MoonRunners. Y'all are awesome. Hope to see you next year in person. All of you, for that matter. This is a cover song. I didn't write it, but it's an old tune. It's called Baby, You're a Good Old Wagon, but You Done Broke Down. It goes like this. This is a song about a frayed wind. A frayed wind means everything coming apart and going around too quickly to grasp hold of it and put it back together again. So you might just have to make something new. Thanks for listening to my set. My name is Pless. Thanks, MoonRunners. Thanks, everybody, for watching and staying up late with me. Check out my merch at Bandcamp and my website and YouTube and Spotify, all that good stuff. if you can't figure out what to do with someone you like on the internet, musically or artistically in 2020, I don't know what to tell you, but I wish you well. This song is called When the Frayed Wind Blows. If it starts with an explosion, do you end it with a bang? First the whistles start blowing, then the guilty finally hang. There's a storm on the horizon and the water's on the rise. We're watching history repeating with the change in times. The figureheads keep talking, but they're buried in the sand. Everyone is pointing fingers, everybody plays their hand. The fixes in the game is rigged, the pawns are polarized. You either pick a side or think outside the picket lines. I wonder, is this a revolution or just mass confusion? When every voice is trying to scream the loudest for equality, while we argue strategy, culture, and philosophy. People die in city streets, all paved with blood and poverty. Powers with a chosen few, desperation's just a tool that agents of corruption use to keep the jails and prisons full. Diamond pockets lined with profits earned from broken lives. This led to pledge by one discrimination under God. I'm saying, stop the world, I want to get off. Everything's on fire and it's falling apart. So if we can't turn back, can we change the course when the fury of the frayed wind blows? The preachers sell salvation to the faithful on their knees. Some prey upon our need and want for something to believe. And some have spun the doctrines, holy guides to paradise, to justify injustices and centuries of genocide. Surrender to your temples, to your altars or your shrines, the weapons used by shepherds so the sheep will keep in line. Conflicting congregations, thinking only of themselves. If that's the path to heaven, hate to see the road to hell. I'll tell ya, they take a vision, make religion, cause division, keep you vacant and complacent and dependent on a system by creating ways to separate, utilizing class and race. Prejudice perpetuates and keeps monopolies in place. Trickle up or trickle down, stack or spread the wealth around. Someone's hope is running out while fortune fills a bank account. Empty promise politicians pander to the poor while there's money used for funding phony wars on foreign shores. I'm saying, stop the world, I want to get off, cause they're loading up the bullets and they're dropping the bombs. The propaganda beats to the narrative drums when the fury of the frayed wind blows. The criminals in Congress, they ain't got no ground to stand. They're building walls and borders all around the stolen land. A legacy of liberty, that's how the story goes. The conquerors rewrote the past to suit the status quo. So is it institutions or the state of humankind that leads to some exalted over thousands left behind? They'll push you to your limit, but in turn they'll push their luck. Cause sleeping giants riot when they finally woken up, because they're buying your silence with those shiny advertisements. They lie and cheat and steal and tax your habits so you'll finance what they hide away behind the scenes. Cover over underneath population exploitation, victimized by vanity. Faces in a magazine, pictures on a pixel screen. Set a lofty standard that disintegrates your self-esteem. Raised to chase a plastic dream, red carpets and limousines. Blinded and distracted by the flashbulbs of celebrity. But just beyond the limelight, after fame has run its course, they'll throw you to the lions while the sold-out crowd will roar. I'm saying, stop the world, I want to get off, cause there's bodies lying, breathless, bleeding, piling up. They shook the bottle to rage, now it's bound to erupt when the fury of the frayed wind blows. You can think yourself in circles, but the answer's never clear. Is there safety with surveillance? Is there freedom without fear? Unravel and untangle all you thought you understood, and question everything until you question why you should. We'll change the world with flowers, or we'll change the world with guns. We'll plant a seed or dig a grave before it's said and done. But if we come together, all for one and one for all, resistance rises up sure as an empire will fall. So I'll just push towards the future, may it crumble for the better, where tyrannical oppressors are but shadows will remember. No judgment based on color or your lover or your gender. Dismantle older models so they can't be reassembled. But the day the tables turn your way, watch out for a twist of fate. Careful not to stumble and become the very thing you hate. Seek out something comforting, search for something innocent, but you'll never have those eyes that look at life that way again. So you can take the high road, nothing ventured, nothing gained, but you'll fight fire with fire when you're going down in flames. I'm saying, stop the world, I want to get off, cause we're at each other's throats and now it's choking my heart. And we can burn the earth or extinguish the torch when the fury of the frayed wind blows. All right. Have a good night.